Podcast Rock City.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City. And with me this week is Mr. Sonny Hollywood Pooney.
We found out earlier everything we know we learned from Casada, which ain't much from what we learned.
Oh, my God. And then, it always messes up every time he does that. And Mr. Joey Casada.
Listen, you guys are not paying me enough to put up with his bullshit anymore. I'm returning your checks, Joe.
Okay, that's okay. They were going to bounce anyway. And okay, now you guys see Jody's not here this week. He's had technical difficulties 2 weeks in a row. He's trying very hard. He sends his apologies to you guys. But right down there, that's Mr. Andrew Scambati.
Woo! You pronounced my name right, but I saw in the notification that you put a C instead of a G. So
I?
Yeah, you phonetically spelled it, but
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Next time, let me know because I'm not a proofreader. I'm just like done.
That's okay because it's fine because that's how you pronounce it. So you still get points for that because usually people don't know how to pronounce it. So we're good. We're good.
Well, I try. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in to Podcast Rock City. We've got a great show for you. Andrew, I don't know if you guys know, Andrew this is what your fifth video, right?
Number 5. Yeah.
Number 5. He has been putting videos together now for what feels like a couple of years, maybe more. Yeah. And we as Podcast Rock City always get to see them early, and it's awesome. And we really enjoy them, and we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we are, of course, he's going to fill in for Jody today. He's just going to do the show with us. We're going to talk about his new video or movie that's coming out, and then and we're going to do the news. So let's get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
There was a few different.
Hold on. Before, so I know you did All Hell's Breaking Loose for the news. Why didn't you use the ZO2 version of All Hell's Breaking Loose? I want to know, was it not good enough?
Copyright infringement. That's what it was.
Andrew, you might slowly become the third host. We can get rid of Pooney really quick. Pooney brings absolutely nothing to the table. So
well, but Pooney was probably he probably heard the ZO2 version. It was probably like, oh, it's probably not very good. Especially
I actually like it.
I'm about to review your movie, goofball. You better stop being nice. I will bury this thing before we even start.
Okay, so all right, this is going to be a crazy episode. I hope everybody enjoys it. All right, so there was Gene Simmons this week, of course, hinted that Kiss will be doing a show in the coldest place on Earth. Before I go to the normal guys, I want to get Andrew's Antarctica.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Andrew's bedroom.
No.
It is.
I'm out.
Nice skin. Well, see, here's the thing. I love Gene. I'm a huge Kiss fan. I'm not one of those Kiss tards or the Kiss sheep, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes I think when Gene talks about things and promotes things, he kind of oversells things sometimes. He's probably talking about Alaska. No, and the band's only played in Alaska twice, 1974 and then in early 2000, January 3rd, 2000. So he's probably talking about Alaska if I had to guess. But again, he wants people to talk about it and be like, oh, we're going to be in Antarctica or whatever, but it's probably going to be Alaska.
Well, Metallica did that Antarctica show, right?
Yeah.
Were
they actually in Antarctica doing that show?
I think so. I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure they were in Antarctica, right?
I heard rumblings about that, but again, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Gene Simmons, he got the he went to the same school that P.T. Barnum went to, And he does a really great job overhyping everything, talking about the biggest thing. I mean, here's the thing. They've been taking the biggest show around for 40 years. They said the Asylum show was the biggest, and literally the stage design was 4 little staircases at one point. So with that being said, I truly believe it's going to be Alaska.
Isn't the coldest place on Earth now the fridge that's holding the vaccines?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, open the door. You drop this wild, will drop. Sonny, what do you think about this? I always love to get your opinion because it's going to be well thought out. Like, you heard this how many days ago?
I heard it a couple of days ago, I think, and I remember thinking, so.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the react.
Yeah,
that's
right?
the right response. Who cares? What? Okay, you're in
Yeah,
Antarctica.
whatever.
Great.
Yeah.
What? All right.
I had the same response when the Moneybag Soda came out. I'm like, he's got sodas now?
Hey, I like the
Okay,
money
whatever.
bag sodas.
Listen, it's actually, and no bullshit, it's actually really good. The root beer,
the root beer is amazing,
and the ginger ale is actually really good. So make sure you head on to moneybagsodas.com.
Oh, there
and
you
order
go.
a case
There
because
you go.
It's freaking awesome. It's
yeah.
awesome.
I really enjoy the money bag sodas. I'm struggling because I'm understanding that because we live in the States, we can't get the rum that's out right now.
Yeah, that's by a different company. I mean, here's the thing. The reason why the Moneybag Soda is so good is because it's made by a company right here in the United States, and they're called Johnny Ryan Sodas. They've been making sodas for the better part of 100 years, right in Buffalo, New York, and it's a family-owned company. And the guys that own it, the Janik brothers, they couldn't be nicer, and so they were able to do something special and get hooked up with Gene. And this stuff is awesome. So even if you don't like the Moneybag sodas, which I know you're going to, the Johnny Ryan sodas are very good. All cane sugar sodas, glass bottles. It tastes good. There's nothing better than twisting one of those tops on an ice cold bottle. It's awesome. So
is it Johnny Ryan or Johnny Rocket?
Johnny Ryan.
Johnny Rocket is the burger place.
No, there's something on my bottles that says no, Rocket Fizz.
Rocket Fizz.
Okay, my bad. Yes,
that's like a candy boutique soda place.
Right, that's where mine are coming from. Yeah, okay.
Which is fine. That's a soda shop. They buy it from them. But yeah, it's Johnny Ryan sodas. That was the thing. And then they got up with Gene Simmons Moneybag Soda. The stuff is awesome. I probably
like
gained
it.
10 pounds drinking from all the sugar.
Yeah.
I'm still an A&W guy. I like the root beer and the cream soda. Old
I'm
school.
telling you, man, you gotta listen. I'm an A&W guy too. I'm actually a Barks root beer guy. But listen, the Gene Simmons Moneybag root beer is awesome. You gotta try it.
Yeah.
And
all
if
right,
it sucks, pour it on Joey.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
from across.
Why don't we get right into Andrew's video? I have a couple things to
I
talk
still
about.
have some news. All right,
Oh, okay.
so I'm really curious. I know how two of you feel about this. Let's talk with Andrew. Paul Stanley says that his record with his side project is done. Are you excited about this?
No.
I'm telling you, it's so funny. This record is going to sound exactly like the Peter Criss solo record. And Paul, that's what Peter Criss's solo record was. It was soul. It was rock and roll. And, Paul badmouths it all over the place. But now he's going to put out the same stuff.
So here's a funny story. I was at one of the Paul Stanley art gallery signings. Probably, man, it's over 10 years ago now. He's in there. He's signing. He's in a great mood, meeting with fans. They're playing all kinds of Kiss music throughout the time. And it comes to a point in the day where a track from Peter Criss's solo record came up. He stopped what he was doing. He looked around and he goes, "Who played this? Who put this on? Shut this off. Shut this off right now." And they made him skip it.
What an asshole. What an asshole. Because if it wasn't Peter Criss, Paul Stanley would like that record. He just can't take it.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Kiss fans are also rock music fans. We all probably have a lot of the same bands that we like, and there's a lot of similar music that we all listen to. None of us, or the majority of us, really don't listen to swing or big band or jazz, stuff like that. Nothing against it. I'm just saying Paul Stanley isn't going to be getting new fans from this record. He's marketing from existing Kiss fans. So to get the biggest bang for your buck, you need to sound the most like Kiss because that's the demographic you're selling to. The reason why the Gene Simmons Asshole record did so bad is because, yeah, he's selling to the same demographic, and none of the songs on that record, for the most part, didn't sound like Kiss. So, in my opinion, this could be the greatest thing on planet Earth. It really could be. But because he's pigeonholed himself to the Kiss fans, they're really not going to be the ones that are going to be consuming it because it's not the kind of music that most of us listen to.
Yeah, but
it's
go ahead, Poonie.
It's a typecast thing, right? So, Joey, you're in this thing, right? Like Michael Richards, unless he's playing a Kramer type part, I just can't watch, right? Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she did that VP or Veep or whatever it was on HBO, but she was very much playing the Elaine type character, so it was an easy watch. There's just a typecast thing that Vince Vaughn can't be serious. Like I can't watch a serious Vince Vaughn movie. That's just how it is.
But you know what? I don't think Paul is doing this. He knows he's not getting record sales from this. He's not doing. Paul is in a different headspace. Paul is all about, I'm going to make myself prim and proper now, drinking wine, eating steaks, cooking, beef stroganoff, and putting out Soul Station. So it's all about perception and image now for Paul Stanley. It's not about, he knows he's not getting record sales from this. Of course not. But it's about, okay, I'm going to do this because I'm going to look good in the eyes of the community. He just posted something about, I don't know, he sent something to Rod Stewart. Did anyone read this?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Rod Stewart was a Soul Station fan as well.
Right. He sent something to Rod Stewart, and Rod was like, oh, who's going to sing the songs on this new band you're in? He's like, I'm singing. And Rod's like, Paul, you can't handle those types of vocals. And Paul said he sent him a couple tracks, and Rod has been, praising it ever since. And that's exactly what Paul wants. That's the praise Paul wants, if that even really happened.
I'm with Robert and Brad on this thing. They put a couple of comments in. I'll tell you, I'm going to listen to the CD or stream or whatever.
What's the CD?
Yeah, what's a CD? I'm gonna listen to this Soul Station stuff, and I'm gonna forget Paul's in it. I'm not gonna watch any videos, none of that. I just want to hear it for what it is, and just see if I can get like what Paul should be out of my head and actually listen to it that way, and see if I like it or not. Right? Because if it's very Bobby Womack type stuff, man, I love Bobby Womack. Right? That'd be great. But who knows?
Yeah, listen, personally, I think I'm going to like it too. I love all that types of, I like that style of music. So I actually think I'm going to enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad-mouthing the music. I'm bad-mouthing the sentiment maybe behind the music. Andrew, do you know, is Eric doing drums for the recordings?
It's my understanding that the live band is the same band that did the recording.
Right.
Because I heard a lot of mention, like Paul's been doing a lot of interviews about the recordings. Oh, we have a 15-piece band, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't mention Eric ever by name. I'm wondering if he's not a part of it anymore.
I think I'm almost positive he is a part of it. But the thing is the moment you mention Eric Singer, he's Kiss, it's the Kiss thing. So they've had a 15-piece band since they've started. 4 background singers.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people on that stage. It's funny to me because if you were a guy like me starting a 15-piece band, everybody in the band is going to split $10. No one's going to make any money. So when I would go out and play in bands, it's like, okay, what's the least amount of people we can have? So that's the least amount of money that we got to split between all of us. Joey, that's why you're in a power trio.
Yeah, but I was in a power trio with 2 Jewish guys, so I didn't make much money either. But no, all jokes aside, does anyone know? I read somewhere too that there's original songs too. What's the track listing like? Is there, 4, 5, 6 original songs? Do we know?
I thought they were all originals.
I thought it was all original.
I don't think so. I think I read
it was half and half.
I read it's covers and then we're also doing some originals. So I don't know what the ratio is, but I would be curious to see what the original songs were. And as far as I know, I don't know if Paul had a lot to do with the actual songwriting of the original songs. I was reading more about how the band, kind of came up with a lot of the songs, but I'm curious to see that stuff.
I would imagine
it'd be better than Gene Simmons' Asshole.
Can we stop talking about Gene Simmons' butthole?
That's the name of the record.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the record? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So that'll be coming out soon, I'm imagining. The only other thing that I've seen this week, and I've done my best, is this is retail time. I own my own store, so I've been very busy. But I did see today that they're building the stage in Dubai and getting ready for the show at the end of the month. We talked about that a little bit. It's just from what we can tell, it's just going to be the regular stage. It can't be this, quarter-mile wide stage. And
they're going to have all the production on either side of the stage. I mean, anytime they build a freestanding stage, on the left to the right of the stage, they're going to hang the giant banks of PA. So people are like, oh, the stage is huge. It's going to be great. I'm like, no. I mean, half of that stage is going to be used for the external scaffolding to hang all the production, because they're literally building everything. So they're not just going to build the stage. They're building the stage and then all the scaffolding around the stage to hold the lights and to hold all the rest of the production.
But I read that are they filming 360? So if that's the case, are they not having a back to the stage? Is it going to be both ways?
They have 360 cameras.
They're not filming it 360. You can
360 cameras. Gotcha.
You can view it in 360. So I mean, if you got like an Oculus or something, you'll be able to look around and see what's going on.
Gotcha.
With that. But,
See, now that's something that I really wish that they would, because I have an Oculus and I would love to watch the show where I'm like sitting in the crowd or in the stands and able to look around. But I haven't really seen anything that's really gone in depth about that. Have you guys?
No, I haven't. And there's a lot of people questioning, well, how do I stream a show? And I'm like, if you don't know how to stream something in 2020, you have bigger problems.
Well, yes. Joe was asking that earlier, so it's not, it's not too far away.
Really?
Yeah, Joe's not good at streaming.
It's gonna be easy, man. If you have an Apple TV, if you have a Roku, if you have a Fire Stick, it's
Andrew. I love you, man, but Sonny's pulling your chain. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I understand why Joey hates him now.
Yes.
I came on here going, man, I can't wait to make fun of Joey, and now
I actually got an email not long ago that said, "Hey, is this rivalry between Joey and Sonny real?" And I was like,
yes, it's real. God damn it!
That's why we got a whole country separates us. We're the farthest apart that we possibly can be.
Even I got to tell you, today, even more than ever, I've never seen this angle of Sonny. But is that a Dallas Cowboys star hanging there? Jesus Christ, Sonny! If I couldn't hate you anymore, now I do.
Do you know what's really funny? So on Joey and I have been Facebook friends for a long time, and then because Joey used to play in a Kiss tribute band, as so did I. We're not going to mention the band names because we don't want to give them any free promotion. But the guy that Joey replaced in the band, his name is Gerard. The three of us will just be in threads. We'll just be going back and forth with each other, just saying, "Oh, f him, f this, and he sucks," and it'll be just a long thread of like all of us like either ganging up on one or just making fun of everyone. And then I guess someone just didn't get it and comments is like, "Oh, you guys are being dicks. You guys are mean and this and that." And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is what we do.
People don't get East Coast humor. They don't get
it. Yeah. And there was even one post that I think Gerard actually wished me a happy birthday. And then the next day I commented on his page. And I was like, "Hey, you gave me the best thing for my birthday, your absence." So
that's awesome.
But no, I mean, it's just funny. It's how we are. It's how we've always been. And I have to tell people all the time. It's like, it's not this. I'm not yelling. This is just how we talk. That's it.
I get it 100%.
So
okay.
Richard says it's supposed to be 13 songs, 5 of them originals, all written by Paul and the co-writers. Okay. And I guess 8 covers. So,
cool. Well, we'll see. I'm excited. I want to hear it, just like you guys want to hear it, and then hopefully it'll be good enough that I'll listen to it 6 or 7 times and get my money's worth.
I hope it does well enough that they go back and they put Live to Win on vinyl, because I would love to have a Live to Win vinyl, an official Live to Win vinyl.
Okay, not the bootleg that I could get down the street.
Not the bootleg.
Okay. I was going to say. All right, so that's the news. Let's get to the amazing topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City topic of the week.
Yeah, so the topic of the week is Andrew. Andrew, you're the topic.
Hey, see, Joey, look at me now. The topic of the week.
That's
So here,
the week. Yeah, right there. All right, listen. So let's just fill everybody in. For the past couple of years, you've been doing basically. How would you describe? I mean, I don't want to say. So, is a fan video? Is that what you want?
they're fan films. There's a huge fan film community, and typically those fan films you would see like Star Wars fan films. I mean, someone re-edited the Phantom Menace and took out Jar Jar Binks. So there's a huge fan film community, and I just took the mindset behind the fan film community and I applied that to Kiss. Here's the thing. I mean, all these bands, they had these great concert films in the 70s, and Kiss never had one. So to me, I was like, well, I'll make one in the vein like it was made in 1977. And that's where I got the idea for The Greatest Show on Earth. So I did that. And then I had, well, what if there's other gaps in Kiss's history that I could fill in? I made something that could have been a TV special in 76. Last year or earlier this year, I released One Last Time, which was basically my end of the road documentary. And then I went and I did something for Japan last December. So I'm just filling in these gaps that I think Kiss didn't have releases in those years. And one of the big things that people say is, how come we didn't get a full concert or a mostly complete concert of the reunion tour? I mean, when Kiss came back around on the Lost Cities tour, anything Kiss would have sold like hotcakes at that time. We had that compilation Greatest Kiss, which kind of made some noise around Europe. Then they brought it over to America in April of 97. So I think if they would have had a live VHS tape, because it would have been VHS back then, it wouldn't have been DVD. I think if they had a live VHS tape that had come out then, I think it would have done well. So, but for some reason, it didn't happen. Now, years and years later, we got all these different reunion tour shows released in conjunction with Kissology Volume 3. We had Tiger Stadium that was on the main feature, and then the bonus disc of Madison Square Garden and Irvine, California. But there was a problem with each one of those shows. So you're watching each one, and there's something missing from every show. Whether the color is off in Tiger Stadium, or the band messes up, or they're only close-up shots, there was always something left to be desired. So I decided to take all of those shows and more. There's 10 shows that I used to put this together, and create a package that could have come out in 96 or early 97 that shows what the reunion tour was like, how exciting it was at that time. And that's where we got a live 96. So December 11th, you'll be able to see it yourselves.
Cool.
Let me just interject. So I hate calling these fan films. I really do. I think, to me, you give not a great interpretation of, to me, what you're trying to do, just because there are so many fan films out there that are garbage. Everyone and their mother tries to do a fan film. And to me, this is absolutely not what those are. And again, I'll bust Andrew's balls more than anyone because I hate the guy, but the stuff that he's doing is exactly what Kiss should have been doing for the last 5 years or 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. All the stuff he's doing is exactly hitting the marks of all the releases that I wish, as a Kiss fan, were out. And, I thank Andrew for putting them out. I wish Kiss either buys them from Andrew or releases them, professionally. And because all of the stuff that he's doing, starting with was, which was the first one, Andrew? The Alive one.
Alive 2 was the first one, The Greatest Show on Earth.
And then you went backwards?
Then I went back and I did Kiss at Midnight.
Right. So Kiss, right. So even if you started Kiss at Midnight, chronologically, the Kiss at Midnight special is so much fun. It's exactly what you would have thought you would maybe saw with Kiss on television back in the 70s. And then he moved forward and went to The Greatest Show on Earth, which was really the perfect Alive 2 compilation. It was, and if you correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, you used the actual Alive 2 recordings and sync them up with video, right?
Yeah, so I took those 3 shows, those 2 nights at Houston, then the Largo show, and I synced it to Alive 2. And people who don't know the process, they probably thought, well, okay, he lined them up, and it's not really like that. Kids didn't sound like they sounded on Alive 2. Either they were playing slower or faster. So I had to take each shot and there's no instruction manual on this, and I had to maybe, this shot I got to speed this up, or maybe that one I got to slow it down to painstakingly sync it to Alive 2. So that's why it's not on YouTube. That's why you can go watch it on Vimeo. But if you didn't know that I synced those 3 shows to Alive 2 and you watched it, you wouldn't know.
But
You
that's
would
the
think-
point, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Again, Alive 2 is my favorite album ever, and to have a video compilation to go along with that record, how the hell has Kiss never done this before?
Well,
Yeah.
how has no one ever done it before? I'm not the be-all, end-all video editor in the Kiss community. There are so many talented people out there. Dave Stryker, who had the Kiss Vision thing in the early '90s, that guy is one of the most talented guys that I know. He's done great stuff for Ace and Twisted Sister over the years. How has nobody else done this before? Were people afraid of the legalities of it? I mean, listen, I'm not making any money off of this. I'm not making any DVDs out of this. You're not going to see me when we can have them horror conventions.
Well, I
selling
think
cable
you just said it. You're not making any money off of it. That's why people, I'm sure you're talking about hundreds of hours worth of work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a normal sane person, unlike yourself, would not do this. They just wouldn't. You're doing it because you want, the fan community to have this piece of history in their hands, whereas, a normal person would not do that.
I hope it inspires somebody to do something, because I want to see someone else's interpretation of some certain things in history. Because here, let me be honest. It's been 3 years since I've been doing all of these things. I started in 2017. Actually, the way that the Greatest Showrunner started is I was in New Jersey just seeing some friends and family, and I drove home, and in that 7-hour drive, I was narrating to my notes app on my phone, and that's how the Greatest Showrunner got started, was just that narration. So I've been working on these pretty much nonstop for 3 years. So Alive 96 comes out December 11th on YouTube. That's 5 days from now. Once that comes out, there is going to be a break, because I'm going to turn off the computer. I'm going to get involved in some new influences. I'm going to pitch some things. I'm going to do some things. I have this great body of work that someone's like, what have you done? I'm like, well, here's what I've done. So I'm hoping that, I know that Kiss might not call me, but I'm hoping that I can sell myself maybe to other bands and something else in the music community, and they'll pay me to do something. I don't know. It's completely honest. It's not about the money. This is some people, they go to a gym and punch a bag, or they go bowling or whatever have you. This is what I like to do. So if I can make a little money off it, so even better.
Does the fan film moniker have to be there for legality purposes, so somebody doesn't think it's something crazy?
I've been careful to include that. So I would rather be I would rather say that than have to go back and say, oh, wait, it's not this, it's a fan film. So I've kept it in there because, like Joey had mentioned, there are tons of fan films out there, and they know that most fan films aren't making any money off of this, that they're doing it for the love of the subject material. So I'm hoping, including that, it kind of says that, hey, this is just something that a fan did by the fans for the fans. So but I do tend to agree with a lot of what Joey says. Unfortunately, I won't ever repeat that. But I do agree that sometimes maybe it does cheapen it a little bit, because you see like I don't know, one of the greatest fan films I ever saw was Troops. It was a cops parody, but it used stormtroopers, and it came out in like 1997, and that was freaking awesome. But there have been so many silly ones since then. So sometimes people, they think of a fan film and they think, oh, it's going to be something silly. Very, very similar to how, people would, Joey and I would say we were in Kiss tribute bands, and then someone would go see Mini Kiss, and they would assume that that's the silliness that we were doing. But we took it very seriously as musicians, because we were always trying to build to the next thing. So I hope that using the term fan film doesn't cheapen the experience for the viewer.
No, I think let me ask you this though. If Kiss unfortunately decided to shut you down, can they shut you down, or can
100%, 100% they could. So first of all, I'm using copywritten material from official Kiss releases. So, and I do that on purpose because what I'm doing is not illegal, and there's a real gray area in what I'm doing. I tell people, you like what I do? Go and buy the official release that I got it from. And as long as you own that official release, there's nothing illegal about taking an official release, re-editing it into something else, as long as I'm not profiting off of it. I mean, you have Star Wars fan films out there that have re-edited Star Wars so that way they give you a theatrical-like experience before the special editions, and George Lucas and Fox and Disney never went after those fan films. So you have the greatest independent filmmaker that isn't coming after fan films. That I don't worry that Kiss is going to come after me.
Right.
What are they going to? I mean, could they stop me? 100% they could.
But Andrew, I got to ask you. So obviously, I understand what you're using. You're using the copywritten material because, like you said, it's already for release. But if all of these other shows that are bootlegged that are on YouTube right now, what would stop you from just doing, not what they're doing, just putting them out there, but taking all of these and editing those too?
That's true. That's true. Nothing would stop me. And unfortunately too, nothing stops certain people from taking my films and making their own DVDs and selling them.
I mean, if anything, I almost feel like the copywritten material is probably a little bit grayer area than taking a bootleg of Largo or a bootleg, I don't know, but whatever they don't actually own and using those. Have you ever thought about using stuff that isn't copywritten?
I never thought about it. I mean, there are certain little things that are in the films that aren't copyright material just because at the end of the day, in all of these films, except for Live 96, because Live 96 is a concert experience, but all the other films, there is a story that's involved. So
I mean the Kiss footage. The Kiss footage.
Well, there is still Kiss footage in there that is from bootlegs that I had to stray
to
tell the story. But I've never sat back and thought about that. I guess the pot of gold at the end of all this is that Tommy Thayer calls me and says, "Hey, we have a project, and maybe you just consult on it." And that would be it. I mean, here's the thing: I just want to get my name on one thing, that just says special thanks to Andrew or catalog consultant Andrew Scambati. That's really all I want.
I understand that 100%. I really do.
And when I was doing videos for Gene Simmons' Moneybag Soda, and then Gene was sharing my videos across his socials, it was a big thrill for me because this is a guy that's been on my wall since I was 3 years old, and now he's taking something that I made and posting it on his page. He's not sharing it from someplace else. He has my content and he's posting it on his page, and people are seeing that. So that was a huge thrill for me. So I'm hoping that maybe something happens with Kiss where they finally listen to all the fans that have liked these films.
So are you saying that, if you notice on my Start With the Dream book, Joe, Andrew gets a credit for helping me design the cover. Are you saying that wasn't as big a thrill? What are you trying to say?
Well, first of all, I did help Joey design the cover on that book, and then he sent it to me like it felt like it was via banana boat. People were getting it, and people have already read it from cover to cover, and mine is still traveling like on a donkey, and he's dragging it behind him, and that's how he sent me.
You got to understand, Andrew. I think Andrew, if memory serves me correctly, lives in Ohio, so the mail system there is, along with the residents are a little.
It's very funny because we have almost the same story. Because I remember about 3 months ago, maybe, going on a Joey Casada live stream and winning a copy of his newest book, and my mailbox is still empty.
Oh boy, here we go. Now, Andrew, you can have your name in lights on the live stream. It's just $1,000. And then you can check that off and move on.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. I want to be able to create something because I think I have a point of view that is different than maybe a lot of Kiss fans. Everybody wants to do something, but they don't necessarily have the drive or the talent to do something. I'm certainly not patting myself on the back. I'm not doing that at all. What I'm saying is that people have watched my stuff and they really enjoy it, and it gets a reaction out of them. It takes a special type of artist to be able to get a reaction out of that many people. One Last Time has over 360,000 views. That's a lot of views. And none of that was paid for. Everything was all organic, just me promoting it and shows like this, promoting it like that. And people seem to really enjoy it. So
Andrew, stop there. So let me ask you this. So why do you think, obviously people enjoy all the stuff you're doing. It gets nothing but praises, right? Whether they think you're crazy for doing it, that would be the only thing I think they could ever say about the actual material that you're releasing. But let me ask you this. Why do you think, if it's so popular, why wouldn't Kiss be doing stuff like this? A real answer.
The real answer is, if this was 1995, my phone and fax machine wouldn't have stopped ringing from Kiss. But because it's 2020, Kiss doesn't need a fan like me. It's a risk.
I mean, even if it's putting them out themselves, why isn't Kiss and the Kiss camp doing something like this?
I don't know. I mean, Kiss they could just pay a Hollywood producer whatever money they want. I mean, they are working on the History documentary right now. So I guess for them, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that question. I just know that it's all about money for an organization of that level. I mean, that organization probably has a budget that none of us have any idea of or ever will make any money like that. But it's just, I guess, it's a risk to work with a nobody like me, and that's probably why they haven't done it.
And I'm probably giving Paul and Gene too much credit here, but it's also possible all that stuff is coming. It's a plan after the fact to
Maybe.
keep KISS alive well into the next 25, 30 years and
But
keep
we
their
can't
kids
keep
and
this alive
grandkids going.
96 on December 11th. I had to. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But like
So-
Hendrix is doing it now, Prince is doing it now. Obviously, they passed on, and other people, blah blah blah. But this it could be a plan. Who knows?
Maybe.
when you let's talk about now. I know you people don't understand that this show's been planned for 3 weeks now. So Andrew gets on top of things a month ahead of time and says, "Hey, I've got a new video coming out." So that's why if you frequent the KISS podcast, you probably have seen him already. And this is, we're all I know it's hard for people out there to understand, and maybe it's not, but as far as, because Andrews doesn't just do this, he also has a video, like a KISS podcast and stuff like that, and we all try to help each other a lot. Just like later on, we're going to mention Joey's he's got ZO2 shirts out.
Oh, you do? I didn't hear about the shirts.
Yeah, they're on Amazon. Oh. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff, but we all try to help each other. And, but one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, how many months of planning do you do before you start editing the first bit of tape?
Well, it's about getting inspired. And once I get inspired, it's a feverish work, because it's one of those things where you get excited about something and that's kind of all you want to do in all your free time. You're just thinking about what you need to do. And so I got inspired with this probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like, could I do something like this? And then I just started gathering up footage. And it was just, I worked my normal 9-to-5 job, and then I would come and I would edit until maybe midnight every night. And then it's just feverishly working. And then once I kind of have a rough idea fleshed out, that's when I start deciding on how I'm going to promote it, when I'm going to release it, and how I'm going to do it. Because if you don't set a time limit on your work, you're never ever going to finish it. So even though I emailed you guys 2 months ago, it wasn't done 2 months ago. Don't get any ideas. It wasn't. It was literally finished last week. I just, once I get to a certain point, I've done enough of these where I know how long it's going to take me to put together and how long I need to work on this. So that's when I start the promotion train and making little things on Facebook and going on all the KISS podcasts and doing things. So each one of these probably takes about 6 months from beginning to end, because even though the release is next Friday, December 11th on YouTube and Vimeo, that's not the end of my work.
Ding.
That's bing. That's not the end of my work. I'm still, for the next 1 or 2 weeks after that, I'm still going to be sharing to different pages, because now, previously I was sharing, hey, it's coming, and now I can share a direct link. So some people probably ignore all the promotion, which is fine. I know it's not for everyone, but it would be silly of me to not share the direct link and just go to different people's pages or drop it in a couple private messages or drop it a couple different places. So the work isn't done, and probably even going into the new year, I'll probably still be doing little things here and there, just to get the word out on it, because there's not a whole team behind me. I'm one guy. The
promo, people don't realize the promo work behind some of this stuff is harder than the actual stuff. It really is, because Go ahead, Andrew.
And I want to touch on that, because when I first announced it, I had this little 60-second little trailer. And when I was originally putting this together, I'm like, well, how am I going to advertise a concert? Am I just going to show concert footage? But then if I show the concert footage, they've already seen it. Why do they care? So I decided everything regarding this project was relive the excitement that happened in 96. And when were you the most excited? When you fucking saw them on the Grammys and Tupac was like, let's shock the people. So I built all the promotion around that little clip. That first little thing, it's like, we need something different. We need something new. We need to shock the people. So let's shock the people. And here it is. This is the excitement that you were all waiting for. You were frothing at the mouth for it. Joey, were you at the Intrepid in April of '96?
No, I wasn't.
But you probably knew about it, and
of course.
But everyone was excited, and that's why all the promotional images is just this shot of the band, because in '96 nothing else mattered except those 4 guys in that costume. The stage didn't matter, the set list kind of didn't matter, whatever else didn't matter, the merch didn't matter, nothing else. This is all that mattered. So it was about recreating that feeling that you had in 1996 and getting getting excited again and remembering how cool this was. And I'm younger than you guys. I was 11 in '96. And when this was happening, and like I could go to my local deli and beg my mom to buy Kiss on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, every time I look at this and see a Live 96 and wow, I'm going to watch Live 96, I'm going to remember back to that time. And I'm going to remember back to all those good memories of seeing them under the Brooklyn Bridge, going to the Meadowlands New Year's Eve, '96, '97, watching the Action League Now cartoon and seeing the Kiss figures animated. All that stuff is in this. Now, this isn't a compilation. This isn't going to rival The Second Coming, because let's face it, The Second Coming is one of the greatest things that the band has ever done. So I didn't want to rival that. So The Second Coming is the documentary, and then this is the concert. So here's what I did yesterday. Yesterday, I went, and a bunch of my friends, we all went to one of our friends' house, and we watched this all for the first time. But what we did is we watched The Second Coming up until the Tiger Stadium show. And then once that happened, then we put on a Live 96. And it gave it kind of this different experience. We had all that excitement from the reunion, and then we watched this. And it was cool. You know, they loved it. They were all posting about it today. And it was something cool that I was able to share this with them. And that's what this is about. This is about reliving how excited you were in '96. We didn't care about who the president was. We didn't care about any coronavirus. We didn't care about Facebook, MySpace. We didn't care about any of that crap. All we cared about was seeing our favorite band back on stage. So let's remember back to that time.
Right.
Live 96.
And then now that's one of the things that, like, before we got started, we were talking about another subject altogether, which really isn't important. But the whole idea during the talk of the subject was that people just, Kiss is such a huge part of so many people's childhoods. Mm-hmm. Like, now Sonny was a little bit older when he discovered the band. Just like you're younger, but Sonny was older than I was, or even when Joey was, when he discovered the band. But you have these people out there that take this so personally. It's so personal. These are, without sounding weird for some people, that's their parents. Paul, Gene, Ace, Peter, they've been raised by these 4 guys. So when you put out these videos, people have the opportunity to go back and just feel that feeling, just like we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. It's about remembering back to a time where it was simpler. You know, there was like 2 Kiss websites at the time, like Kiss Asylum and Kiss Otaku. And that was it. And we weren't arguing with each other. We were just like, oh my God, can you believe they played Take Me last night? Or can you believe that I got this new version of the tour book? Or it was a remembering back to those times. Joey, did you go see Kiss at the Garden in July of '96?
Yeah, I saw 3 of the 4 shows.
Okay, so you remember the electricity in the city.
Oh my God, of course. Again, me and all my friends who were, Kiss fans growing up, who saw them throughout the 80s, we immediately, I bought as many tickets as I could for as many shows as I could when they first came out, knowing, I knew dozens of people that would go with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was that time. It was remembering back to how cool was this? And it's funny because back then when you were seeing a Kiss concert, you would ask them, hey, have you ever seen them in makeup before this? And now when people go see Kiss, they're like, did you ever see them without makeup?
You're right.
So it's kind of flipped. But it's about just remembering back to that time. So let's talk a little bit. Well, here's what since I'm the guest, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I just want to kind of go around the hole here, and I want to get your guys' reaction of the video. So unfortunately, I want to start with probably the worst one and the one that's going to have
Sonny?
the most grunting. Well, I want to start with you, Joey,
Oh,
because
what?
out of all of us, your knuckles are closest to the ground to dragging.
Ha!
Yeah. My review is: do not watch this. Don't see it. Andrew's stuff is really bad. The editing is bad. The sound. No, I'm kidding. Listen, I love all the stuff you do. I wish I could badmouth you because I love nothing more than doing that. But I love all the stuff you do. You know, I didn't watch the whole video yet, but I watched most of it. And, you know, you get that excitement. It's exactly what I want. I want a full show from that tour. Perfect. And, you know, perfect footage, quality, all that. And that's what you give us. You know, same thing with your other releases. I want great footage to, you know, kind of give me the history of Kiss in video form. And, you know, I've spoken a million times on this podcast how I feel Kiss drops the ball left and right when it comes to, especially the last 20 years, probably since Second Coming really is the last really good thing they've done. Since then, they haven't done anything of this caliber, and it drives me up the wall. So I love the stuff you do. I want to see more. I want to see non-makeup stuff. I want to see as much stuff that I think you should dive into the bootlegs, dude. I really do. Because I think you're the person to take, and you have that kind of personality, that the tediousness of going through those bootlegs and finding the right clips, because there's a lot of crap out there, but you have the right work ethic to get stuff from each of those and make something great.
Right. Now what he was saying is exactly what I would say. It's great. The even people on here who haven't seen it yet were saying, you should do Rock and Roll Over, you should do Asylum, you should do this, you should do that. And we can see their comments right here and there, you know. So I agree 100% with Joey. I know that you're saying you're going to need a break because you're going to do something else. But, you know, are you thinking that maybe a non-makeup thing?
I've been teasing a non-makeup one for about 2 years, and I do have a bunch of footage from the Hot in the Shade tour, so I will be doing something on that one. It's a totally different monster because, again, it's all bootlegs on there, and it's not concert-based. So everything else I've done is based on a concert or based around a concert. This is something totally different. So yes, there is another project in the works on the Hot in the Shade tour.
Cool.
100%
Sonny?
confirmed.
I watched it 3 times in full. I am a pain in the ass when it comes to this stuff because I'm the guy who watches the movies or the TV sitcoms and say, wait a second, his beer was only half full. Now it's a quarter full. What happened? And all of a sudden it's full. All of a sudden Norm didn't order another beer. What happened? You know, I'm that guy. So I was looking for Paul's jacket. I was looking for his leotard. You know, does he have 1 strap down, 2 straps down? I thought you did a great job with all that. You know, something like this, I don't understand why Kiss didn't do it in '98. I don't understand why they didn't put something like this together. My guess is nobody came to them and said they were willing to do the work.
That's exactly
and
why
they don't trust anybody else to do the work that's not going to come to them and give them money. So that's probably it. But I will tell you, my favorite part, so you guys can mark this down, whoever's listening right now, timestamp is 39 minutes exactly, and just freeze it right there and just gaze for about, I don't know, 10 or 20 seconds. You'll get what I'm finding. You'll get what I'm saying.
Oh,
Okay.
damn. Now I got to do this.
Now I got to go and do that. Now I got to go.
39 minutes exactly.
39 minutes exactly.
Yeah.
So listen, but you know, before we go, let's tell everybody again. You do this for fun. You're not making any money. You're doing it. You're taking 6 months out of your life to plan and edit and promote and put it out. And you have a bunch of other videos. Tell everybody, first of all, where they could go and see them all.
So the best place to get all of them except The Greatest Show on Earth, that is only on Vimeo because of the Alive 2 audio, and YouTube would take it down. But to get all of my videos, you can go to my YouTube channel, Greatest Show on Earth Fan Films. That's plural. You can go there, and all of my films run. You could watch One Last Time. You could watch One Last Time, the bonus concert. You could watch Rock and Roll Over Party in Japan. You could watch Kiss at Midnight. And then starting next Friday, December 11th, you can watch Alive 96. Right
Show them
there.
the poster again.
Andrew, just out of curiosity, why would YouTube take down the Alive 2? Wouldn't it just be a monetary thing that you couldn't monetize off of it?
It's because I used so much of that audio, they thought that I was just playing the album.
Yeah, but dude, if I uploaded Alive 2 right now, it would have a copyright claim on it, but then I would just dispute the claim and they would let me leave it up, but they would monetize on it.
Not true. If you post one song, they'll let you. But there were so many songs from the album that it was blocked immediately. Immediately it was blocked.
Did you try to put a dispute in?
Yeah, I've tried to dispute it since 2018. So that's why I went to Vimeo to show the greatest show on earth. And I even tried to mess with some of the way that some of the not the feedback or some of the delay, some of the audio mixing to make it sound a little bit different than Alive 2, but it just didn't work. So
You can't slow it down at all. If you slow it down, it doesn't sound right though.
But if I slowed it down, that's basically just shooting all the work I did in the foot because the video so that's the thing. So it's YouTube just picks and chooses with their how their copyright bots work. But there was so much of Alive 2 on there, and there were so many copywritten things on there that's why that they blocked it. So, but that's okay. You can go watch it on Vimeo, or you invite me to your house and make me dinner, and I'll bring.
That's not going to happen. I'd rather not watch it. But dude, if you want, I mean, just ideas. If you took each song and broke them up and made a playlist out of it, you would be able. You could do that on YouTube.
But that's the thing too. Remember, it's not just songs. There's that documentary footage in between. So
if you play a playlist straight through and just press play on it, it'll run like one seamless thing.
Yeah, I could try. I can try and do that. I definitely have all the raw files, so I can definitely try and do that. But at the same time, you can just go on Vimeo, and the Vimeo is a little higher quality than there. It doesn't have the user traffic as YouTube does. But just search Greatest Show on Earth Vimeo, and there it is right there. So Greatest Show on Earth Kiss fan film Vimeo, and you'll find it right there. So, but that's the only one, and who knows, something could change, something could happen. Maybe someone will finally wake up and say, hey, we should put this out. This will cost us no money to do, and all we got to do is, and seriously, if they were to do that and they were to give me access to their masters, it would be so easy for me to take their masters and replace it with the footage that I have. Everything is time stamped, which you guys can't see any of that fancy stuff because that's all in my editing program. But like it would literally take me minutes to just take what they did and just replace what I have. But yeah, I mean, so again, Greatest Show on Earth, youtube.com/Greatest Show on Earth fan films. You could see them all on there. But hopefully, if you're in any of these KISS groups on Facebook, you're going to see me talking about it next week. Tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll be uploading the video on YouTube tomorrow with the premiere. So what that means is YouTube will show, hey, Alive 96 is coming in 5 days, and YouTube will count it down for me. So starting tomorrow, you'll be able to go to the direct link of Alive 96 and wait in line, just like you would be waiting in line at a concert. How cool is that?
It is awesome. But go ahead, Sonny.
So I was going to tell you another thing. So just like Joe said, by the time 96 happens, I'm 26 when this show's coming around to my area, right? So I went to San Jose in late August, and then the next night went to Sacramento. The energy was different in San Jose than it was in Sacramento. For whatever reason, San Jose seemed to really embrace KISS more, and I don't know if it was half that same group went to Sacramento and the shine was already off. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But I remember that was the first time I ever saw Ace in makeup, right? And I couldn't take my eyes off Ace for some reason, right? I'm like, that's my favorite member. I finally see him in makeup. God, the guy is a god up there, right? Nobody ever talks about this guy. All they talk about is Paul and Gene, and that's at 27. So I could imagine what it would have felt like if I was 16 or 17 years old.
I was
11. Right? Yeah. So
here, I'll tell you a great story about the first show that I went to. And Joey, you'll know this because you probably get this paper now, the Asbury Park Press.
Yeah.
So
you still get the paper, Joey?
Well, I don't get it, but I have access to it. That's what
he knows. He knows what.
I know the paper.
So I remember when I was just too young to go see KISS at Madison Square Garden in July of '96, but I knew that they were coming to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, which is where I'm from. I knew they were coming there New Year's Eve, so I begged my mom, can we go? Can we go? And she's like, oh, it's sold out, sold out. So it just so happened that 2 weeks before the show, I was asking her, she goes, okay, let's look in the paper for tickets. So all you youngins out there, before the internet, we used to look in the newspaper to find concert tickets. So I remember this like it was yesterday. And we were looking through and it said 4 tickets, face value, Kiss New Year's Eve. And mommy, can we call? Can we call? So she called the guy and he was like, yeah, it's 4 tickets, face value. I'm not making any money. My wife wants to go see Beauty and the Beast New Year's Eve, so I got to sell these Kiss tickets. And he's like, but listen, someone already wants them. So if you want to get these tickets, you just got to get here before him. And my mother looked at me. She goes, get in the car.
Nice.
And we got in the car. And I remember driving down the New Jersey Turnpike, listening to Don't Speak by No Doubt, because that was a huge single at the time in December of 96. Looking out the window going, man, I hope we get these tickets. And showing up at this guy's house. And he showed me some of his Kiss stuff because he was a fan. And I got these 4 tickets for New Year's Eve, 96, 97. And
you didn't go to the Garden, Andrew?
No, I was too young. I was too
Wow.
young. I went to
Could
the
you
Garden.
imagine the guy that was supposed to get him?
Yeah.
Dude, he gets there and he's all pissed.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast right now, send your hate mail to Andrew Scambati.
Yeah,
That's the number one.
Yeah, and
Nice, Joe. Nice work.
I'm on ball. I'm on the ball. Yeah.
and
I don't know the first part of the email. I only know that's the number one. Just saying, that's why I couldn't plug it.
But yeah, I did see them in the Garden in 98, just not 96, which was still cool, by the way. But I just remember, and it's so cool that I have video footage of that show that I can go back and watch anytime I want. And I remember how cold it was that day. And I also remember that after the show, I was with my mother and she didn't want to drive home. So we got a hotel in North Jersey and stayed in North Jersey and then drove home the next day. So those things, like, because of, listen, it doesn't matter who's in the band. It just, with this crazy Kiss thing, I've met all you guys. I've met Joey. I've known Joey for almost 20 years now. And I wouldn't have these great memories without Kiss. I wouldn't be able to have all these fond memories about my mom taking me places and meeting people, going to Kiss conventions and doing all these things. So it's something that I hold really near and dear to me. So anytime I watch a live 96, I remember waiting outside the Meadowlands, freezing my ass off before going into the show. And I was so young. I remember waiting in line for merch and I hear the opening band start and I thought it was Kiss because I didn't know any better. It was 11,
Right.
my first concert. So
My opening band was Stabbing Westward.
I think mine was Econline Crush.
Mine was the Verve pipe.
Yeah, they really shit the bed on that tour.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, but,
Joe, you saw the Nixons open at the Garden.
I
and
didn't
John-
see it. I didn't get there for the openers. I was out with my friends drinking. The last thing we were doing was going to see the opener.
But it was
Needless to say, I was the only one that made it through the whole show. All my buddies were unconscious by the time Rock Roll All Night started.
It was supposed to be the Stone Temple Pilots, and Stone Temple Pilots for the whole tour. Remember, and I guess Scott Weiland was
couldn't stay out of prison.
Yeah,
He had to just not stop doing heroin. He just couldn't stop.
When I was watching the film, I'm watching the do stance, and I'm like, okay, so did Andrew watch all 10, and then from all 10 shows, and go, okay, they're not in a line there. Wait a second, Ace is off a little bit there. Can't use that one. Paul came in late. God damn it, can't use that one.
I did. No, seriously.
I figured.
Seriously. And that little there's a shot of them from behind the stage doing the deuce dance.
Yeah.
I took that from one of those VH1 specials. That little clip just happened to be there, and I was like, hey, that's from Tiger Stadium. I'm gonna pull that and use that. So even without those 10 shows, I had to watch so much stuff to get the footage. And I know we didn't talk about how I technically put it together, but that almost doesn't matter because hopefully, if I did my job right, you won't know all the technical things that went behind it. You'll just be able to sit down, watch the show, and be like, hey, that was great. This feels like one show. This feels like what I saw in 96. And this was awesome.
Yeah,
go ahead, Joe.
I didn't. That was one of the things that I didn't bring up, was only because I felt like exactly what you said. Once they're watching it and they're seeing it, by the end of it, they'll understand how much work you put into it.
Mm-hmm. All the hours of color correcting to make those 10 shows look as similar as possible. There was like ugly green tints that I took out to just make everything look as good as it could. So,
Yeah. And Joey had a good point. So I'm watching the film and I'm like, oh, okay, Rock and Roll All Night's going, okay, cool. They're going to split up the vocal. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. That happened to Psycho Circus. That didn't happen on this tour. Goddamn, Jack Daniels, mix me up. The both concerts feel like the same to me almost. So I can't sometimes tell them apart.
Yeah.
But Andrew, you said it perfectly before how, this whole KISS community, everyone through the KISS community now, and you're good friends with everyone. That's almost a reason in itself to do what you're doing. You're giving, not only you giving the KISS community all this great stuff that, more than anything, KISS fans want stuff to have, whether it's, they don't want plush toys and all this stuff. I want concert footage. I want music and video footage. So, you're not only giving the fans this, but you're, becoming part of, in a weird way, history in a weird way, right?
It's weird to think about. It really is, because when you say that, I kind of flash back to sitting at McDonald's in Manhattan, you, me, and my mom one night after a drum lesson, and just
I remember
talking about bullshit. And here we are,
But dude, you got to remember too, it's not about KISS officially writing your name on something. I think it's almost more important what you're doing, because you're doing it for no other reason than to have it out there. You know what I mean? And when you do something that you love so much and you can see the quality that's put into it, that's when good things happen.
Yeah. So listen, I may never work with KISS, but there may be some other things that are coming down the pike for me that happened because of these little KISS things that I did. So, again, December 11th on YouTube and Vimeo, crank the fuck out of it. And sorry for cursing, but crank
That's all right. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, crank it.
Whoa.
Yeah, crank it.
Wait, we allowed to curse on here? Poonie, you asshole.
But crank Alive 96 on December 11th, and remember back to how cool it was when we saw these guys again. And hopefully there might be something you see where, hey, I remember that, or oh my God, is that me in the front row? You might be in this. So yeah, just remember back to just a cool time in history.
That's awesome. You guys out there that are listening and watching, make sure that when you see the video, leave Andrew some messages. Leave him some comments. Tell him how great it is. It means, yeah, I promise you this, that those comments, when you're letting somebody know you appreciate the hard work that they're doing, especially when they're doing it for free. No, it's not. It doesn't cost you anything to watch it. He's getting together, or any of these podcast guys are getting together. They're doing these shows for free. Send them a message. Send Andrew a message and go, man, I loved your video. And then give him an idea for another one, because, he's addicted now. This is like his heroin.
And here's the thing. I respond to every comment. I respond to every email. So if you're going to take time out of your day to watch the video or comment on it, I respond to every single comment. It may take me a little while, but I respond to every single one.
Here's a great comment right here. Andrew Scambati, you're part of Kisstory. I get KISS-related people to sign my Kisstory book, and I would definitely want your signature on my book.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome.
Right over Joey's signature.
This guy is, whoever that was, obviously drunk.
I would be honored.
Richard, I think he's in the UK, so he's going to have to mail it.
Obviously drunk.
He's obviously drunk.
It's
man,
okay.
I mean, that's the thing. It's I was in this really popular KISS tribute band at one time, and people would tell me things when I did that, and now I do this. So I'm extremely grateful that people allow me to do the things that I want to do. So sometimes I don't think thank you is enough, but all those people watching and commenting on the video when it comes out December 11th on YouTube, thank you.
Yeah, cool. Sonny, do you have anything to add?
Timestamp, 39 minutes exactly.
Damn.
Take a snapshot and connect it to this show. Trust me, you'll love it.
Is
Absolutely.
I don't think
If I see Poonie on this 30, oh, okay. Never mind.
The pretty one. You see how it says the pretty one on his thing? Normally it says Hollywood. Joey.
No, just I want to thank Andrew for coming on. More so, thank him for producing all this great footage. Again, I really think you should go out and do something with the bootlegs now. Much like the Kiss Vision videos did stuff for me back in the day, having that stuff originally in my collection, it used to, light up my day because I never saw any of that stuff. That's what your new stuff is doing to this new generation. So just keep producing more stuff.
I will.
Absolutely. You know what before we go, and I know that Joey, he's usually like a self-promoting machine. You guys on Amazon, there are Z-Rock t-shirts. I saw that they got released this week, and go get one. That's I'm asking Karen for a couple. Hopefully they'll be in my size, fat guy size.
Yes, you can go on my Amazon merch store. You can get Z-Rock merch up the ass, t-shirts and sweatshirts and all that stuff, as well as Wrestling with Joey Licious shirts and sweatshirts and all that stuff. And obviously my books are my home is on Amazon. So just type in Joey Casado or Joey Licious on Amazon and you'll see this beautiful nose.
And
Speaking of the nose, I remember I was out once with a girl, and Joey's name came up on my phone, and this girl was Italian, and she looks down, and she goes, "You know someone named Joey Casada?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I always knew Italian people just growing up, but this, there's not a lot of Italians in Ohio, so.
I thought it was gonna be much worse than that. That's a good story. That story.
Well, we're gonna get a story off the air as soon as we're done here.
Yes,
I know
that is true.
I have a couple of fun Andrew Scambati stories off the air. I figured he didn't want me to bring them up, so.
But we're going to hear them in just a minute. You know what I'm going to say? We love podcasts, and we love Kiss podcasts, most of them anyway. And you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love in 3, 2, 1.
That's number one.
I'm just waiting for it to go away.